Jay-Z has successfully destroyed LaRussell's career, and I'll be real, we can't even put all the blame on Jay-Z because LaRussell plays a huge part in this.
I'm officially signed to Rock Nation.
Hey!
That was the biggest mistake of LaRussell's career, and after the week LaRussell has had, if he could take that moment back, he would take it back. He probably wouldn't even announce he was signing Rock Nation if he would sign a Rock Nation in the first place, if he could see the amount of trouble and trauma that signing the Rock Nation would bring him. And the thing is, LaRussell don't even need Rock Nation. His reason for signing to Rock Nation wasn't even that compelling, to be honest.
It means I now have support beyond just my homies.
Whatever level of support that meant, to me, was not worth what would come. See, LaRussell was the feel-good story of hip-hop. People were rooting for LaRussell because it felt like watching your homie grind. But once your homie get in bed with the devil, you no longer view your homie as the homie. You now view your homie as the opposition, which is why I feel like a lot of people were very critical of this move. I think social media, folks on social media were essentially saying he sold his soul. I think one user posted, so LaRussell talked all that ish about labels and how they scam artists and even created an avenue for independent artists to actually make a coin from their music just to sign a Rock Nation. One thing these ninjas gonna do is sell themselves to the highest bidder. Common sense would tell you whoever LaRussell signed to is none of your business, is none of my business, is none of our business. LaRussell could sign to Jay-Z and he could sell Jay-Z his entire soul. I wouldn't give a damn. It's not my business, okay? I'm not in the business of telling people what to do with their money and their assets. But where LaRussell went wrong at in this entire thing is he began to feed into it.
Do you feel like you disappointed fans by signing?
No. The niggas who know me and rock with me and been here along my journey and been in my backyard, in my garage, and, seen what I've done, understand completely what I'm doing. The niggas who don't know me, who don't buy tickets, who don't buy merch, who don't stream songs, who don't come to shows, who ain't got shit to do with my life, yeah. And I don't give a
I think him reducing anybody with criticism of him signing the Rock Nation as just haters who never supported him, I think is wrong. I do think some supporters of LaRussell just don't like Jay-Z and was disappointed that he signed to Jay-Z. So I do think he should have granted some type of grace or just not responded back at all. But a second mistake that LaRussell made, and to me, this was the biggest mistake, and this was the one that I felt like really sealed his fate online, was after LaRussell signed to Jay-Z, LaRussell voluntarily became like a spokesperson and a PR man for Jay-Z.
I'm going to say that Hove is not who the internet tries to make him out to be. There's been so many slanderous campaigns around who Hove is, and including myself. I've added to that pot through my experience.
It's one thing to sign a Rock Nation, but then it's another to sign a Rock Nation, and now you're repping for Rock Nation so hard, you're now adopting Jay-Z beef. You're now going at the internet on behalf of Jay-Z. You're now calling people with real problems and real issues with Jay-Z cloud chasers and liars. Well, that's not the case. Yo, Jay-Z has done some really foul things in this industry. Some really foul things, yo. Jay-Z got exposed for literally, Jay-Z and Rock Nation contacted TMZ to spread a fake story on Colin Kaepernick to make Colin Kaepernick look bad. So Jay-Z's decision to join the NFL while Colin Kaepernick was boycotting the NFL to make that decision look better. They wanted to throw Kaepernick under the bus. This was a verifiable fact. Call up Van Lathan. He'll tell you. Jay-Z has done things like that to a lot of people in this industry. So for you to sign a Rock Nation and then all of a sudden you're now the Jay-Z spokesperson, to me was a mistake. Because nobody can blame you for signing to Jay-Z. But the accusations of selling your soul and being compromised comes into play. Once you become this super overly the top Jay-Z defender all of a sudden once you sign to him. LaRussell even said during this interview that Jay-Z is responsible for getting Barack Obama elected.
And just to have conversations and meet, it's funny, my mama, I was telling her I'm going to meet Hov, and she was like, man, I don't know, I'm worried. You seen all those YouTube videos? And I told her,
sound like
what are they
my
like that? He's
mama.
like the
I had
Illuminati or something.
I messaged her and I was like, I said, people on YouTube are telling the story from the loser's perspective. The people who didn't do it can only comment on the people who did it. You know, and I think it's very important to get direct context. Like after we spoke today and we talked about the situation with me, and he brought it up and was like, man, this is how this is this. And it's like, I felt so bad for adding to the bullshit on his plate that the labels and they already like this is a free black man who chose to, hey, I'm gonna build my own DSP. I'm gonna build my own distro. I'm gonna give my nigga the keys. And he's been shitted on so much by us, by his own community, you know, for just being courageous and bold and trying, that it's like, man, we have to, sometimes we gotta sit back and just shut the fuck up and let Muhammad Ali be Muhammad Ali.
True. I think we take a lot of ubiquitous people for granted. We just always seen them. They're around. They must be evil.
You don't
right?
even get to understand the impact of like what we experiencing and what we witnessing.
Yeah.
Who helped Obama get in office? Who helped us get the first black president? Who Obama called? Hove brought that home.
True. And Young Jeezy.
We all got to experience a black president for the first time. And this nigga who's, hey, I need to bring this home.
Yeah.
Like, do you understand how insane that is?
Listen, man, I'm not giving that to Jay-Z, bro. I'm not giving Jay-Z credit for getting Obama elected, bro. I'm sorry. That's absurd to me. Obama and his team did their, Jay-Z, stop it, bro. But I hate this for LaRussel because LaRussel essentially put himself in a war now. He puts himself dead smack in a stand war. Signing to Jay-Z is one thing. Nobody can blame you for it. But now you're defending Jay-Z. Now you are essentially minimalizing any type of, I don't know, gripes that anybody has against Jay-Z. Yo, Jay-Z has done a lot of foul things in this industry, LaRussel. Jay-Z and Roc Nation contacted TMZ and literally try to feed a fake story about Colin Kaepernick to TMZ to throw Kaepernick under the bus to make Jay-Z's decision to sign with the NFL look better. Is that a man like who we're just hating on for no reason? No, Jay-Z is a foul human being. LaRussel knows all about it. LaRussel himself experienced how Roc Nation and Jay-Z tried to steal everything he ever worked for nothing. They tried to sign him to a 360 for $15,000. LaRussel experienced that firsthand. So for him to experience that and be vocal about it, and then signing Jay-Z, now all of a sudden Jay-Z is Jesus Christ, it looks compromised to a lot of people.
Right. Who's serious? I'm moving too fast. These niggas furious. I took all the risks. I was curious. Turning down Roc Nation had me feeling all delirious. You know, Roc Nation, that offer
you gotta tell us about that.
Yeah.
You gotta tell us about that.
So Roc Nation, man, they just did some funny shit that
wait. Let's not just say Roc Nation as a whole.
The labels,
the representative that you were dealing with.
Yeah, right? But I mean, I think you got to be responsible for who you hire. That's a representation of you and your shit. Hey, it's funny because after I got the offer, I had called Charlemagne, and I was like, bro, I need to talk to Hove. And he started laughing. I said, I just want to know if Hove know what they did or not.
Right.
I said, once I tell him, I'll either know if he knew or he didn't. And if he knew, cool, I see. Right. But if he didn't, I think you should know what's going on in your organization, right?
So what happened?
So they sent me an offer, and the first one was like the terms, but then it had no money attached to it. It was just a $15,000 discretionary fund, right? Which is like, damn, where's the event? Where's all this? It was like, you're gonna deliver these projects under these terms, 10% 360, $15K discretionary fund, that's yours. And I went to the office, and I'm like, they like, what you think? What you gonna do? And I'm like, bruh, where's the money? Like, where the numbers, right?
Right.
And he like, what you mean? And I'm like, bro, it's only 15K. Like, what I'm gonna do with 15K?
Right.
And he's like, oh, no, this ain't it. He makes a call. He's like, yo, it ain't no numbers on the offer. They send a new offer in like 30 seconds, right? And the new offer was much larger. But by that time, I was turned off because I'm like, if I would have signed this $15K, would you have told me you made a mistake? And then you made a $750,000 mistake? I don't want to do business with niggas who make mistakes that big. You gonna my business up, right? But I just felt like that was hella slimy, and it wasn't a great representation.
Now imagine how many artists who isn't LaRussel, who didn't have the infrastructure and the team you had, who got a deal like that and they actually signed it because they needed the $15,000, right? But Roc Nation and Jay-Z knew they were worth more. Imagine how many artists, who didn't have the education that you got, who didn't have the courage, and they actually sold their soul. So if you are aware firsthand of the games they play and how they exploit their own, to then sign to them because you're in an advantageous position with leverage and then say, nah, they all perfect, nah, they all good, nah, Jay-Z only trying to help. What? No, that's not. No. Confirmation bias is a thing because people already think LaRussel is compromised after signing to Roc Nation and Jay-Z, that when LaRussel was speaking on Lil Wayne in the same interview, he said some positive things about Lil Wayne, but he was also critical of Lil Wayne. And because he was pretty critical of Lil Wayne, people ignored the positive stuff he said about Wayne and went directly to the critical stuff he said about Wayne and automatically grouped this in with LaRussel is compromised. He's going off on Lil Wayne because he's now signed to Jay-Z and Lil Wayne and Jay-Z ain't seeing eye to eye right now.
Yeah,
I gotta respect
he had a conviction.
I
had a moment in my journey where I had grew a disdain for Wayne just because I started listening to everything. Like I started maturing as a human, and I'm like, damn, this nigga wasn't talking about nothing for a long time. And
I think that's what his argument was.
As someone who like grew up in these communities,
right,
and grew up with homies who I seen want to be bloods because they following Wayne and want to be gangster and want to shoot all the gun bar and
right.
Like I've seen the negative that he contributed to the community, and I had to look like, man, what are the songs where he really talked about something and gave? And out of 1,000-song catalog, it's minute on this end.
It's like Georgia Bush.
And that do bother me. Man, Tie My Hands.
Yeah.
That's
one
what
of the
I was
greatest
going to say.
records
Tie My Hands
right?
is the only one
and
I can think of.
And that's the thing. It's like, if I hug you once, but I slap the shit out you 1,000 times, your affinity for me is you're probably going to remember me for this. And a lot of people don't, as I mature, a lot of my old favorite artists, I'm now like, damn. Yeah. Like, I love you because I learned how to rap to you, but when you look at the contribution, it's like, man.
That clip right there has set LaRussel back. I can't even articulate or fathom how much that clip has effed up what LaRussel got going on. For the first time in his life, there's an actual hate mob and hate train, and there are actual people who are waking up every day to make sure that LaRussel don't succeed because of what he said about Wayne. Because that right there was all the confirmation that people need. Okay, LaRussel is probably in Jay-Z's back pocket now because now he's criticizing Jay-Z's enemies, which I don't feel like that was LaRussel's intent. I feel like that's how it came across due to everything else LaRussel did throughout the week. LaRussel is fighting for his life online right now, and you can see what the sentiments are. People believe, again, that Ninja signed to Roc and immediately start shitting on Wayne. Who sent you? People believe that Jay-Z or LaRussel is only doing this or saying these things about Lil Wayne and others because he's now signed to Roc Nation and he's riding for the home team, which is why if I'm LaRussel, bro, I'm not defending Jay-Z on no interviews, bro. Yeah, sign to him, but so what, right? Hear them rock boys go again. Dumb ninjas wonder why these type of rappers get no love outside their fans, especially once they get bigger. Ninjas love throwing dirt on Wayne as if he ain't Lil effing Wayne. Like, he ain't take over the world like 3 times first. Yo, LaRussel effed up, bro. He effed up, man. Disrespecting Wayne is nasty work. What the F is even a LaRussel? Point a gun to my head and tell me to name 3 songs and you gonna have to blow my head off because who is that? One person says, I'd rather hear Lil Wayne light his joint on repeat for 4 hours than this ninja. This is the first time ever, like, LaRussel has gone from the hometown hero to now he's a villain because he got in business with Roc Nation, because he ruined a good thing by getting in business with the devil. If you go online right now and just scroll on your on your Twitter, all you really see is like posts like this where people are going out of their way, man, to call LaRussel trash, posting all of his music videos on his shorts, which is like, hey, man, yo, It's self-inflicted, bro. He did this to himself. Once the hate mob started, LaRussel didn't do himself any favor because he actually fed more into it. Like, he tried to respond back and counteract the hate mob, but every attempt just made things worse. LaRussel will post a clip where he would title it, "Full Context, Case Closed, Wrap It Up. The media will have you making an enemy out the hero. Weezy, I love you, good day, losers." Now, he would claim that this video is the full context and the other video was clipped up without context. But the video that LaRussel would show here is a video that actually cuts out him saying that he has disdain for Lil Wayne. So if you're posting the full context and the video of the full context clips out the part that people is mad about, then it's not the full context.
You know, one of the homies put me on Wayne, and it was
over.
like bars, boy. I used to have a notebook, just bars.
What was your introduction to Wayne?
So there's two introductions to Wayne.
Yeah.
There's an introduction to Wayne that's through culture and your parents that you have no merit in.
Right.
And then there's an introduction when you get to like dive. And mine's, I think it was like the drought too. And that was like my reintroduction to like, man, dedication mixtapes, the droughts. Like I just got
No
immersed.
ceilings.
Man,
The
this
Drought
was
too?
pre no ceilings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the Carter
Carter.
1 and Carter 2 were amazing.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad we're like positively talking about Lil Wayne because our last guest shat on Lil Wayne so hard.
I love Wayne so much, but I understand how someone could be like, man, this isn't the Wayne that like I remember.
Right.
You know?
No.
I had a moment in my journey where I had grew a disdain for Wayne just because I started listening to everything. Like I started maturing as a human, and I'm like, damn, I love you because I learned how to rap to you. But when you look at the contribution, it's like, man. But he was also a kid.
Yeah.
Wayne
The part where he says, damn, but he wasn't saying nothing. He clipped that part out and then transitioned to, man, yeah, but he was, you feel me? But he was a kid. And that's what people were like, all right, bro. Like now you're playing in our faces. This is supposed to be the full context, but you clipped it up yourself. And then LaRussel doubled down on the bad decision. He made another big mistake. LaRussel decided he was now going to attack the media pages for posting the clip of him talking about Lil Wayne, right? He attacked Say Cheese, he attacked Academics, he attacked all the really huge hip-hop pages that he gotta go through for promo or to deal with. He would attack them and claim that, you know, that they're all being bought out and they're compromised and they don't have integrity whatsoever because they posted a clip of LaRussel talking about Lil Wayne.
I'm finna blow the whistle on the industry real quick. In the industry, is two forms of marketing that's used heavily. It's seeding and it's clipping. Whenever you see Academics, Say Cheese, rap, bars, etc., all posting the same thing around the same time with the same narrative, that's a seeding campaign. That means someone gave them a budget and some content and a narrative to spread to the world. These two things have been monumental and beneficial to artists like myself as well, because whenever I have a viral moment, I'm able to mass distribute the moment to the world. On the flip side of that, most of these places don't have no integrity. So as long as you got the budget, you could get them to post anything and use their platform. Yesterday, probably like 20, 30 platforms across Instagram and Twitter all posted the same clip of me at the same time with the same narrative. 30 thinking the same thing, watching the same interview at the same time. None of them have ever posted anything from me. They ain't posted when I paid rent in my hood. They ain't posted when I bought out restaurants. They ain't posted when I helped these kids. They ain't posted nothing I've ever done. But randomly, they all watching this interview and decided, we should post this.
I run a news page, by the way, who posts about like 30 to 40 times a day. Yo, as somebody who runs a news page, I'm here to tell you, like, how other pages find a news, they go to other pages who post news and they just draw the news from there. So it's not crazy that 30 or 40 pages posted, you know, the same post or video with, let's say, similar captions or like around similar times. That's because people are jacking from each other. If I post something first, I'm sure you're going to have Say Cheese and others like take from me. If Say Cheese posted first, I'm going to take from Say Cheese. That's how it works. All right? Now, But this approach, though, once you attack the brands itself, now they have an invested interest into making sure you don't succeed. Now they have an invested interest in hating you when before they had no reason not to like you. It was just them just posting what was news at the time. I knew LaRussel kind of messed up when you had Sean Cotton, out of all people, who don't bother nobody, declaring war on LaRussel today. Sean Cotton took to Twitter to tell LaRussel the DJ only play LaRussel music when fights break out at the club so everybody can leave. Like come on, bruh. And I don't want to say this because it's going to feel like it's a pile on LaRussel, because I actually like LaRussel. But even that narrative that the media is after you, that's a Roc Nation and Jay-Z narrative. That's how they play it. Roc Nation and Jay-Z, right, was suing, I guess, Milagro on behalf of Megan Thee Stallion. You know what they did? Go out and harass independent rap pages and other people that had nothing to do with this lawsuit with Megan Thee Stallion and Milagro. They used an unrelated lawsuit to harass media personalities in hip-hop. Now you ask yourself, why don't people like Jay-Z? It's because of things like that. They had subpoenas, all type of stuff for independent rap pages to harass them and to intimidate them. And they use this exact same narrative. Oh, man, listen, man, if they all post the same thing, man, that means they must be in cahoots. No, that's not how this works, man. Sean even doubled back and responded back on the main account, and he wrote, "Ninja, nobody paid us a dime. Stop crying because social media is cooking you and taking like a champ. Nobody is out to get you. LOL." Y'all let me know what y'all think, man. What side are you guys on, man? How do you feel like LaRussel could have handled this better? Do you feel like LaRussel signing the Roc Nation was a big mistake? Let me know, okay? And if you're still watching this video and you want to watch another good video, click on this video right here to find out why Corey Holcomb is currently threatening me. I'm going to see you guys in this video somewhere on my screen. If you enjoy my video, please send me a hype to this video. Liking and subscribing helps, but hypes are how you help small creators grow on YouTube. Hypes help push this video in the algorithm. So if you support and love me, please send me a hype and let me know in the comment section that you sent me a hype, okay? So I can respond back. I'm going to see you guys in this video. I'm out of here, folks. Peace.